Well, welcome to this year's Apple Valley State of the City. We did last year's address virtually, right? We kind of needed to. It gave us a chance to do some fun new things, but it is really great to be back in person and see everybody in 3D here again today. We've got lots to share. Before I jump in and do that, though, I want to thank and recognize our fellow city council members. Their hard work and their dedication is really part of what makes all of this work. Would you mind standing up? We have Tom Goodwin, Ruth Grendel, John Bergman, and Tom Melander. Tom couldn't be here today. But does send his best to all of us. So that's the last time I'm going to make you stand up, I promise. So I also want to recognize our city administrator, Tom Lowell, and really all of our city staff. None of what we do is possible without their work, and a lot of that really behind the scenes and making sure everything runs well and making sure our citizens are taken care of. So please give a round of applause to Tom and all of our staff. And for our staff here, would you just mind raising your hand so everybody can kind of get an idea who you are? We're all very heavily weighted in that direction. So we've had a lot of valued partners in the city as well. So I'd also like to thank the Chamber, who also runs our Convention and Visitors Bureau. School District 196, who serves Apple Valley, Egan, and Rosemont. We have a number of representatives from the district here. We kind of introduced them before. They're over here. You guys mind just raising your hands again so we can see you and recognize you. Thank you. Mary, that includes you as well. You don't get away without that. So, Dakota County and our Commissioner, Mary Heyman Rowland, we are very, very happy to have you here today. We have our representatives in St. Paul as well. And Robert Bierman is here today. Probably on very, very little sleep, so I'm hoping you get a little caught up this week. And finally, our representatives in Washington, D.C., including the offices of Angie Craig and Senator Tina Smith and Senator Amy Klobuchar. And I think we have Momina here from Angie Craig's office. There she is. Thank you. I'm just realizing I have never met you in person either. This is another COVID introduction, right? We've only done this over video, so it's great to see you in person. So we are super lucky, though, to have the partnerships and relationships we do with all of these people. You may think of this job as just Apple Valley, but really none of this works unless we all talk and work and communicate together. So thank you all for being here and sharing today. 2020 was a year we focused a lot on the pandemic and adjusting to it. 2021, we spent trying to prepare for what the transition back to a little more normal climate may be, and when the pandemic was not just the driving force behind everything we did. We were excited to start hosting community events again in 2021. Last February, we held Midwinter Fest in a new location. This is an annual winter celebration. We bring the community together to enjoy food and fun and music and activities for all ages. These were some really fun races on the ice rink. It was cold that day, but our staff pulled together a great event. And then starting Friday, June 17th, throughout the summer, we have the Apple Valley Arts Foundation's Music in Kelly Park, which is a summer concert series featuring live music from a variety of artists. We're so grateful for the Arts Foundation for bringing live music to Apple Valley. They also brought the live music to Midwinter Fest, and so truly another great partnership that gives us something really cool to talk about in the summer in Apple Valley. Thank you. Finally, we look forward to hosting this year's Freedom Days events and the 4th of July parade. We'll get to celebrate Independence Day with food, fun, and fireworks again this year. And with all of that, we continue to look for new and fun ways to celebrate and bring our community together. Keep an eye on the website and the upcoming events. I'm sure we'll continue to add some new things throughout the year as well. Some other fun things in 2021. We celebrated Apple Valley native Gable Stevenson's gold medal victory at the Tokyo Olympics, something I didn't think was going to be on the list, right, when I took the job. So we proclaimed September 2nd as Gable Stevenson Day in Apple Valley. He recently signed with WWE and made his debut just this April at WrestleMania. He threw his opponent, Chad Gable, to the mat. If you've seen that video, go look for it. It's fun to watch. He made quite the entrance. Ed and I were toying with recreating that today for y'all. We couldn't agree on who got to play which Gable, so we decided maybe skipping that was best today. Just this past month, the Minnesota Zoo celebrated groundbreaking for their Treetop Trail, which is an elevated walking path that follows the zoo's old monorail track. You'll be able to walk along the path to admire the wildlife and the scenery. But they also have plans to do some really neat and unique stuff up there on that trail, host programs such as yoga, arts exhibits, those kind of things. Both kids and adults alike will be able to get back out to the zoo and enjoy this new feature. It's going to be a great addition to Apple Valley as well. There's 1 million+ visitors a year to that zoo that bring commerce and people into Apple Valley. We're all looking forward to this scheduled opening of this new amenity. Chances are you've also been to or at least driven by one of our municipal liquor stores. The great thing about our liquor stores, not only do they give us great customer service, good quality products, but all of their profits all get plowed back into our police and our fire and our parks department. So they do provide a service right back to Apple Valley and many of the things we see and talk about here. I'd like to just pause for a moment and honor our former police chief, John Retzikel, for his dedicated years of service and leadership within Apple Valley. John spent his entire 35-year law enforcement career in the Apple Valley Police Department. He retired at the end of March this year. We appreciate all of John's work and wish him the best during some well-earned years of retirement. So please, a round of applause for John. Many years ago, John also promised me he would not retire without leaving us in a good spot, and he certainly did. I'd like to congratulate Nick Francis, who was selected as our next chief of police. Nick has over 20 years of law enforcement experience, beginning here in Apple Valley in 2000. We think he's a great fit for the position. Apparently, the whole community agrees. After Nick accepted the role, we shared the news on social media, immediately bombarded with positive comments, right? You never know when you put something on social media what you're going to get. And we got nothing but positive about Nick. I guess no surprise, Nick's already setting records. That's our most liked Facebook post ever. So welcome, Nick. Nick is out doing his job today and unfortunately could not be here with us. We've asked our department, prepared a few videos from some of our departments so they can share some of their own highlights and some of their own hard work this year. First up, we're going to have the public safety highlight featuring our police and fire departments.
The Apple Valley Police Department is dedicated to protecting our community and improving quality of life through service, education, and enforcement. Here's an overview of what's happening in 2022. Right now, recruitment and retention is an industry-wide difficulty for law enforcement agencies. Our department is seeing a reduction in qualified applicants. For instance, prior to 2018, we would receive 60 to 80 applicants for job openings. Our last recruitment effort produced only 6 applicants. In addition, we have also experienced the early departure of seasoned officers prior to retirement age. As a result, we're making improvements to our hiring process to be more streamlined and meet the changing needs of our candidates. Our current police force is working hard to compensate for the lack of new hires and continues to tirelessly serve our community. Our department has a long history with public engagement and community policing. Some of our favorite events have been Coffee with the Cops, Blue at the Zoo, and Freezy Fridays in the park. The pandemic reduced our opportunities to connect directly with residents, but we have resumed many of our public outreach efforts and will continue to do so as the pandemic wanes. We are offering both our citizens and teen police academies and are planning a host of other events in 2022. Training and education has always been a priority for our department. However, with staffing shortages, we do not always have ample manpower to take officers out of their daily assignments to attend training. In-house training models have been adjusted to account for this, and we will continue to find creative ways to train despite a shortage of officers. We have updated our training facility connected to the police department to allow for easier on-duty training opportunities. We also expect more in-person training offerings for our staff to attend as the pandemic subsides. Our number one priority is delivering high-quality service to our residents and businesses here in Apple Valley. As always, we appreciate the opportunity to serve you.
The Apple Valley Fire Department has been serving our city proudly since 1966. We are a volunteer paid-on-call department that trains firefighters for optimal emergency response from 3 fire stations strategically located throughout the city. In 2021, we responded to about 2,300 calls for service, including nearly 72 fires, 1,500 medicals, and 258 false alarms. To help us better serve the community, We're making health and safety improvements to all 3 fire stations, including remodeling Station 2. These improvements will separate firefighters from some of the hazardous contaminants they encounter, create spaces to decontaminate their equipment, and create communal spaces to allow firefighters to reduce some of the negative effects of repeated exposures to traumatic events. In addition to putting out fires, one of our main goals is to prevent them from occurring in the first place. We promote fire safety through educational programs, inspections, and regularly share fire safety tips on our website and social media. The Apple Valley Fire Department is proud to serve our city.
I think we're all vitally aware that the role both our police and fire departments play in our community, not just the emergency response piece, but the education and the outreach that go along with it. Both of those departments are accepting applications. Both of them talked about the challenges we're all facing in hiring and retaining people. If you know someone who's ever considered a career in law enforcement, now would be a good time to explore those. So if you know someone's interested, please share the website, have them log in and look at the job descriptions out there. And next up, a word from our Community Development Department.
An active year of development planning and approvals last year in 2021 has led to construction for those projects now being underway in 2022, with some nearing completion by the end of this year. Also, in 2022, we have even more planning and approvals in progress for upcoming projects. I'm standing on a mound of sand, gravel, and soil, which is almost ready for development. My location is just north of 155th Street and just west of Pilot Knob. As you look south from here, you see the multi-tenant buildings nearing completion by HJ Development and the future location of a Lunds & Byerly's being reviewed by the city for a construction start in 2022. Panning to the west and north shows the necessary acres needed to develop medical clinics along Pilot Knob to be reviewed this year, and on the horizon, a possible clean manufacturing facility in 2023 placed closer to County Road 42. This entire 400 acres is known by multiple names, including the active sand and gravel mining area, the job-focused mixed business campus, and with all the development that can be envisioned as Orchard Place, a regional trail and stormwater ponding business park rich with amenities. The businesses planned to open this year include Texas Roadhouse, Newt's Burgers, Crisp and Green, Punch Pizza, Sweet Treasures, Chipotle, Starbucks, and Mr. Car Wash. We also have new housing and commercial developments being built with an anticipated 2022 completion. Orchard Pass Senior Apartment Expansion, Orchard Place Phase 1 Townhomes, My Salon Suites Personal Care Services, Chase Bank, Summers Ridge Assisted Living, and Riser Senior Apartments. New housing plan for 2022 includes a 5-unit single-family development on the east shore of Farquhar Lake, Orchard Place Phase 2 Townhomes, Eagle Point Villas, and Applewood Point Senior Cooperative. If you fixed up your home in 2021, spending more than $20,000 based on building permit valuation, you are one of the 452 homes that have improved, perhaps expanded, or invested a total of $15.4 million. On behalf of the city, I'd like to thank you for helping us polish the apple at your home and in your Apple Valley neighborhood.
In that last video, Bruce highlighted a number of the exciting things coming up in Apple Valley. But I also want to take a minute and just share some appreciation for all of our businesses here. Running a business has never been easy, and it's only gotten harder the last few years. Just when we thought pandemic was behind us, now we throw labor shortages and inflation and supply chain, you name it. It seems like there's one challenge after another that keeps coming our way. Every day, our businesses have innovated, they've changed, they've adapted. and done what they had to do to take care of their employees and the community and each other. And that's something to be to be very proud of. So thank you all for what you do for Apple Valley. Apple Valley is also proud to be headquarters of top financial performers such as Wings Financial, the largest credit union in Minnesota, and Uponor, and their recognized leadership on lean manufacturing and sustainable design and operations. In addition to those businesses, we also continue to attract new businesses and support those that have been part of this community for many, many years. Bruce mentioned many of them, the ones we see coming, but we are very fortunate to have this business community that makes Apple Valley such a great place to live, work, and play. Whether you have one employee, whether you have 500, whether you opened last week, or you've been here for nearly all 50 years of our existence, thank you for choosing Apple Valley, and thank you for making it a great place to be and a great place to visit as well. Perhaps you noticed in Bruce's video that Apple Valley is becoming a bit of a hub for emerging new restaurants. Tavern Grill, Mescalito Butcher, Farmer and Fishmonger, Cowboy Jack's, all have opened in locations that have been dark for some time. Coming soon, we have Texas Roadhouse, Newt's, Punch Pizza, Crisp and Green to join that already extensive list of restaurants who have been here for a long time. Thank you all for supporting Apple Valley's restaurants. Sometimes you see these and you wonder, is there room for them all? I will tell you, a recent Friday night, my wife and I made a trip out to dinner and we drove east to west looking for a place to grab a quick table for lunch. So it's great. It's great to see them all full again. I will more than happily wait half an hour for a table and probably never complain about that again after the last few years. The city is also looking to add a brewery or distillery to this mix. And so if you know someone in that business, we would love to talk to them and find them the right spot and help them get up and running. One bit of bittersweet news to share. At the end of this summer, our Community Development Director, Bruce Nordquist, plans to retire. We've all benefited from Bruce's 15 years here in making Apple Valley the best place to plant, grow, and prosper. Bruce, thank you for all you've done to Apple Valley. You will be missed. We're getting a waiver from Bruce so I can keep using that video in future years, I'm hoping as well. So now let's get a few words from our Public Works Department.
In Public Works, we're responsible for a wide range of services, from building inspections, which ensure that homes and buildings are constructed properly, to street and utility maintenance, where staff maintain the streets, water, and sewer lines that we use every day. Today, though, I'd like to discuss 3 areas Public Works will be working hard on in 2022. The first is our annual public infrastructure projects. In 2022, Public Works engineering staff will be working to improve the city's public infrastructure, primarily our roadways. One of the projects our staff work on every year is our annual street and utility project. This year, Redwood Drive, going north from County Road 42 to Walnut Lane, will be reconstructed. The project will include removal and replacement of the existing street pavement, concrete curbs, and also new sanitary, sewer, and water lines. Additional storm sewer will be added to help improve the drainage off the street. Another project we expect to complete in 2022 is improvements to the North Creek Greenway in the southeast corner of the city. This project will enhance the greenway by installing missing sections to the existing trail and rerouting portions of the trail that weren't conducive to trail users. These improvements will be completed to sections of the greenway north of County Road 46 to the underpass at 157th Street. The next topic I'd like to share is the work that Public Works staff is doing to combat the emerald ash borer, or EAB, infestation in the city. The EAB insect and the resulting tree damage it causes was first discovered in Apple Valley's ash trees in early 2016. Since that time, the amount of EAB infestation has increased each year. The good news is that the city has an EAB management plan which lays out a strategy to deal with the ash tree devastation. For a number of years, the city has provided free inspections for residents of suspected EAB-infested ash trees. Based on the inspection, if the tree is still healthy, it may be a candidate for chemical treatment, which the city offers at a discounted cost from a local contractor. If it is a public boulevard tree that needs to be removed, the city will offer a free tree to be replanted in the adjacent resident's yard. The hope is that by replanting a variety of tree species, the city will be in a better spot for when the next tree bug comes along. The final item that Public Works and other city staff will be working on this year is the preparation of final design plans for improvements to the Central Maintenance Facility, or CMF campus. Last year, the City Council approved capital bonding funds for these improvements based on a 2019 study which included a new vehicle maintenance building for working on equipment, a small front office addition, renovation of the existing building, in addition to the existing garage, and a new police garage and locker room to accommodate the growing needs of our city. That summarizes just a few of the exciting projects Public Works will be working on in 2022. It's our pleasure to continue serving our community through these strategic improvements.
As you saw, we've got a lot of things planned in Public Works. Our city recently hit 50 years old, and like most of us, when you hit a certain age, things start to wear out, and that's kind of where we're at, so we had a lot going on. As always, through these projects, we strive for excellent communication with our residents, with our businesses throughout the construction. Please reach out, anybody, please reach out if there's something we can do better or better serve you during these projects. One thing I like to mention with these, because it's really quite unique in our metro communities, all of these street improvements you saw, all of that work going on up on Redwood right now with the big holes in the street, those are all completed without any property assessments to our homeowners. Keeping homes affordable has been a mission of this council since I've been here, and you don't find that in many places. We are completing those improvements without any special assessments. Nobody will get a surprise $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 add-on to their taxes just because their public street was improved. That's very unique and something we're very proud of being able to do. One of our next highlights is from our Parks and Rec Department, who has a lot of exciting news to share.
Apple Valley's Park and Recreation Department is dedicated to providing residents the best experience in our parks, on our trails, at our facilities, and participating in our programs. Today, I'm here to talk to you about some important topics in our department. First, did you know there are some excellent employment opportunities in Parks and Recreation? We are looking to hire about 300 employees. Some positions are year-round, while others are seasonal. Our employees enjoy flexible hours, good pay, free training, a safe work environment, and great resume building opportunities. We have positions available for people as young as 15, and we also have great jobs for adults and people that have already retired but are looking to keep active and busy. Check out our website for additional information. Give us a try. I think you'll be glad you did. Next, I want to talk about the future of our city's parks and recreation facilities. As the years have gone by, our facilities will eventually need to be replaced to keep up with our growing community. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee is working hard to plan ahead for future investments to help keep the system safe, accessible, and to make improvements so we can provide a viable park and recreation experience for all Apple Valley residents, which includes updating our existing community and neighborhood parks and trail systems, reinvesting in our major recreation facilities, which includes the Apple Valley Community Center, the Apple Valley Senior Center, the Apple Valley Family Aquatic Center, Hayes Park Arena, and the Apple Valley Sports Arena. Redesigning and constructing new park master plans for Alamagnet, Kelly, Farquhar, and Redwood Parks. The city is working with multiple firms to begin developing master plans for these proposed improvements. In addition, we are receiving some help from Dakota County with an Active Living Dakota County SHIP grant that will be used to enhance our community engagement activities associated with our planning efforts. Between now and the fall of 2022, the city will be working with our consultants to enlist the help of the entire community to discover what residents want to see in Apple Valley's park and recreation system. During this phase, the gathered feedback will be used to develop master plans as well as a list of potential projects. In the fourth quarter of 2022, the information will be shared with residents so everyone has an understanding of all of the projects under consideration. It is anticipated that during the first quarter of 2023, the Apple Valley City Council will commission a professionally administered public survey that will help answer the following questions. Are Apple Valley residents supportive of a Parks Bond referendum? If yes, what projects are Apple Valley residents interested in supporting? If yes, how much of a tax increase is the typical Apple Valley resident willing to vote for to help support improvements to the Parks and Recreation system? Once the results of the survey are understood, and if the results suggest that residents are amenable to a referendum package will be developed. Residents will then be provided with information about what improvements are proposed, what the tax impact would be if the referendum was successful, and other general information about the process. If a referendum is to be held, the Council is planning towards a referendum vote in November of 2023. As we engage the public about what they would like to see in the park system, it is likely that we will develop a list of desired projects that is more expensive than what we will be able to afford. We will utilize the results of the survey to help prioritize the projects to determine what is best for the entire community. For more information or to get involved in the potential Parks Bond referendum, please contact me at 952-953-2310 or via email at eric.carlson@applevalley.mn.gov.
That's Eric's actual phone number, too, just in case you're curious. With our growing community in Apple Valley, we know it's important to invest in our park system and our facilities. This is a pretty crucial step, and the reason we brought this to you today is we are at a spot of gathering feedback, and we do want to hear from everybody about what makes sense going forward. We know the needs of the parks are different. We know the users are different than they were when these were built, so we are looking forward to this feedback. There will be multiple ways we'll be engaging people: in person, surveys, online, etc. The place right now where you will find that is on the website. As you scroll down to the bottom, you will find the link to the survey. We'd encourage everybody to jump out there and express your interest at this point. Let's talk a little bit about goals for the future. Every year, our city council gathers. We take some time to develop what we want to do in the next few years. It helps us stay on track throughout the year. We know that things come up and change, but also make sure we offer the best to our community. You saw in the videos, part of this goal setting this year is focused on our needs to improve and expand certain facilities in order to continue serving the growing needs of our community. A few of those goals I just want to share with you today. The safety of our residents is one of our top priorities. Our fire department currently has 3 fire stations that serve our entire city. We'll make some improvements to all 3 fire stations, and the plan is for Fire Station 2 to receive a full remodel. These changes allow our firefighters better places to train, decontaminate their equipment, which has become a growing need in the fire industry to get away from the carcinogens and the stuff that comes with fire, but also to give them a place to take a bit of a mental break after what is a stressful call or a stressful situation. As a result of those improvements, we expect our firefighters will be in an even better position to continue serving Apple Valley. Also on that list of facilities to improve is our central maintenance facility. That's where our public works staff do all of their day-to-day stuff, maintain the equipment, keep it clean, make sure it's ready to go out and plow the streets. We're in the final stages of design plans there, which will include a new vehicle maintenance building for working on equipment, a small front office addition, and some renovation to the existing buildings. Our city's police department also makes great use of our central maintenance facility where they store their equipment and their vehicles. So we'll have some work in there included as well, so they can continue to better serve our community. You heard a bit about our you heard a bit from our Park and Rec director about our gathering community feedback for a potential park bond referendum. In Apple Valley, we have many amenities such as parks, trails, arenas, and some special facilities. As we continue to grow, we always need to evaluate how we meet the needs of the community now and into the future. Now is the time, as we mentioned before, we want to have everyone's voice heard. I'd like to encourage everybody to jump online, fill out that survey, and get us that feedback. As you saw, the development of Orchard Place will bring us new shopping, restaurants, and businesses. We're excited to be adding more businesses and employment opportunities to Apple Valley. We'll have some of these planned to open this year. Some will be in future years as well, with construction beginning soon. If you've not driven down Pilot Knob and looked at that lately, you will notice an awful lot of change in the former mining area. As we continue to strategically developing and improving our city, we're always striving to make Apple Valley the premier place to live, work, and play. 2022 is also an election year, with state primary elections in August and general elections in November. Staff is working hard to prepare everything so these can run smoothly when the time comes. We've established new precinct boundaries and polling places for the 2022 election to stay up to date with the mandatory redistricting, which happens periodically to make sure all voters have equal representation. You can view the updated voting district map on the website as well as an FAQ to learn where you vote. It may be different than where you voted before. So before you jump in the car on polling day, take some time to check that out. We're also seeking paid election judges. Elections don't run without judges. Pam and her team do a fantastic job to make sure we have good elections, but we absolutely need election judges to make that happen. Those opportunities are on the website as well. Bond ratings are a reflection of our financial strength and stability as a city. Top bond ratings are earned based on the strength of the economy and our fiscal management practices. It's extremely rare for a city to hold 2 AAA bond ratings, with only 1.2% of the cities in Minnesota achieving this distinction. Apple Valley is one of them. Those bond ratings allow the city to achieve the lowest possible interest cost for our borrowings, and we pass those savings along to our residents as we deliver the services we've talked about today. They're also a bit of a mark of good financial planning. You don't get the bond ratings without good financial planning. That concludes this year's State of the City. I'd like to acknowledge the hard work of our staff, their daily work to continue making Apple Valley a great place to live. Thank you to Grand Stay for hosting and Las Tortillas for a great meal. I also want to say thank you to Charles Graw, who did not know I was going to sneak this in on him, but Charles jumped in last minute to take reservations for this event today with Fabiana out. And so I know Fabiana was grateful. She was very worried of being able to be out for this. So thank you, Charles, for jumping in to do this as well. I know the plate's already full. We appreciate you jumping in and taking on one more thing. I encourage you all to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest happenings in Apple Valley. There's a lot of information on the website. Our social media has a ton of different information. We have email notifications we continue to build out so you can get just the news you want when you want it. We have a fancy QR code here that will take you right to the link to go sign up for those notifications. And thanks to all of you, our city council members and our partners, and finally the chamber for hosting this event today. I appreciate you all taking time out to listen and hear what we have coming forward and what's happened in the past. The Apple Valley future is certainly bright, and we're proud to be part of it. Thank you.